on behalf of all kinds of living beings. We've been transmigrating in samsara for so long, in this universe for so long, especially in our world for so long, that there's really no offense, no evil we haven't done. So, and it's not just for us, but it's for everyone. This is Buddha's wisdom. We've been revolving the wheel reincarnation for so long that we got so used to it that that's what we do. We create offenses, habit energies. And so we know that that's why in Mahayana practice, what we do things is in order primarily to benefit living beings, benefit others. We're not horribly worried about ourselves, our comfort, our advances, our gain, our advantages, but more about executing a Dharma, practicing a Dharma in order to help living beings. So this repentance is to help all living beings, okay? And so when we go to the section where we recite the mantra, we get up and then we start by facing 4 directions. It's symbolic of all living beings of the 10 directions. All right, so that's all that it means. And I think traditionally, in the old days, they would stand there. They don't circumambulate. And we know that you Americans are weak. You can't stand your feet for too long, so we only do 4 directions to symbolize the 10 directions, because we don't even want to do 10 directions because it's too long for you. Plus you get confused, which one is north, which one is northwest, and so forth. So we simplify a lot of things for you, so we symbolize 4 directions as the 10 directions, and after that, we circumambulate to help you increase the blood circulation and make it not as stressful for your feet. All right? Good question. Anyone else? We are very fortunate to be able to practice Master YongHua's teachings. This is a priceless gift he left for our generation. And when I first started, I didn't really appreciate any of these dharmas. We were forced to recite the Great Compassion Mantra every single day. After lunch, we hurried up and brushed our teeth, and then rushed to the Buddha Hall to do the Great Compassion Repentance every single day without fail. Okay, and was tough, because as a novice, I was very hungry, so I ate a lot. In 25 minutes, I swallowed a lot of food to make sure I didn't go hungry until the next meal. And because we only eat 1 meal a day in the city of 10,000 Buddhas. Thank you very much. And so starting to do the Great Compassion Repentance at 12:45, 12:40, 12 and a half is very tough for us. I fell asleep. I couldn't, especially the section where you kneel and recite. It's very, very, makes me very drowsy. Okay, and so, so I didn't like it at all. But now that I'm able to practice longer, I really learned to appreciate it. Once you get a hang of it, actually, you can begin to feel that it really works every single time. That every time you do this, your karmic offenses really are eradicated. It's fascinating, okay? And you feel the difference in your body and in your mind. Your body will feel like there's a chi rising up from your navel, or up to the head, okay? And that's it clears your body there and heals you physically and then spiritually as well. All right? So it's a real treasure that we should, I hope more and more people would be able to appreciate it. And also thinking back when I first started, my Chinese teacher was dying, and so I didn't get to learn directly from him. Never had a chance to ask him any questions in person. So it's one of the biggest regrets I have in my life, that was not to be able to learn, to come sooner and learn more from him directly and ask questions, because I still have a lot of questions. Like you, when you ask me questions, trust me, my answer is actually made up. So please take it with a grain of salt. I really don't know what I'm talking about, okay? So I wish I could, ask him so many questions and would resolve a lot of doubts in my mind. And I used to have to go around and, based on his teachings, look for next good new advisor. Couldn't find anyone, so I read a lot of books from the Taiwanese, from Chinese, from Japanese, and so forth, Vietnamese, and so forth. Whatever I could put my hands on. And I accrued a lot of junk. Couldn't tell black from white. I couldn't tell what teacher to follow, what teacher to take seriously. And so finally, I gave up. I couldn't find anyone I was impressed with. I came back to Master YongHua and took his Dharma as my teacher. So I was very, very lucky. Okay, and starting out, and thinking back, I was so confused. And one of the things that his disciples told me, he said, Master YongHua, instructions for us, the monks, was to do three things. One, translation. Okay. 2, training. Number 3, education. And I came from an MBA background where we are extremely disloyal. Okay, we only think of ourselves. So if it weren't for the second instruction where we're supposed to receive training, I would have left a long, long time ago. But conditions forced me to stay there for over 4 years. And to me, it's not a good use of my time. But what I got from there is patience. This is for you, because we're having more and more people coming to join us to receive training, whether it's lay people or left-home people. For example, in K-Land, Korea, we have a couple locations, and people came, whether it's Sangha or layperson. We seem to be able to draw a lot of young people, which is very rare in Korea, even very rare nowadays, because they come to cultivate. Here, young people come because they want to socialize. Okay, over there they come to really cultivate and socialize, maybe. Okay, our girls are very picky, by the way, guys. Very, very picky. Their standards are very, very high. Anyway, and then so we have a couple locations there, and more and more people are joining us. And for some reason, maybe we're one of the toughest programs there is in terms of training. And has been going on for over 4 years now. This is our 5th year. And now people begin to notice it's chaotic. We really throw our newcomers to the wolves, like what happened to me. Okay, it's in that chaos there, They learn to patiently endure it and survive. Then they'll be trained. So it's kind of interesting. So that's one of the characteristics of the life in the temple. When you're a left home person, invariably all of us have to go through that phase where we learn to endure the chaos and being disoriented and being confused. One monk tells you this, next guy tells you something else. Happened to me every single day. Okay. But those are the three things that it was conveyed to me. And the funny thing is that after 4 years, I left extremely disappointed because I really felt I received no training whatsoever. Coming from industry here and corporate America and so forth, that's kind of weird. But the funny thing is, I never felt that my teacher never blamed Master Hsuan at all. Because he knew full well when I asked him to shave my head. I said, my interest is to learn Chan from you. And I figure since you said you were about 70, so you said you'll be around until you're 100, so I still have 25 years. I'm willing to give up everything I have to learn from you. And he died within 4 months, 6 months. And the funny thing is that I never blame him. Yeah, I never felt that he entrapped me or anything until later. But now I get upset a little bit. And I said, the only reason I stuck around because I thought I would be receiving training from these people. Otherwise, it's a waste of my life. Okay? And now, looking at all the new people, and I realize the instructions are for me. Isn't that funny? He has a strange way of teaching you. And it's so amazing the way that Master YongHua trained me at all. It's just very different from the way he trained the other disciples. So I realize now I'm supposed to carry out these three things. What is it? Translation, training, and education. Training, that's what we've been doing. I realize that one of the things I'm supposed to do is to train. And maybe that's why very early on, Master Huineng came and trained me. And he showed me, the way he taught me is what I've been using to train our students, whether it's lay people or left home people, at a much more rudimentary way of training. The way that Master Huineng taught me is just fascinating, so beautiful. Okay, and certain teaching, the way he taught certain teaching is incredible. It's so powerful, so beautiful. Much more than Master YongHua, the way Master YongHua trained me. So that I realized maybe that's one of the things I'm supposed to do before I leave is to train people. And so we pay a lot of attention to train you, all of you, lay people and left home people. Okay, and training means that bottom line is you become enlightened, you open your wisdom. Okay, and we don't discriminate. We help each and every one of you from low level to high level. Okay, and I hope the next generation will keep that in mind. Okay, if you really want to continue this tradition that our Chinese patriarch passed on to us, whether we call it American Mahayana, American Way or not, it's still the same mission. It is to train, okay? Of all the three things, training, education, and translation, which do you think is the most important? 1, 2, or 3? 1, he says 1. 2, 1. Wei Mao, go ahead.
Hello, Master. Actually, I have different questions. Is it okay to ask?
Sure. You can ask any questions anytime. I just can't always answer your questions.
Okay. Thank you, Masters. My father left me and my brother when we were young, and I was always feel abandoned, and I holding that grudge against him. So now I want to drop it, and I want to cut that because I realize it's a toxicity that I keep in myself. That's not healthy for me. How do I do that? Do I need to tell him in person that I forgive you and I don't hold that against you anymore, or do I just drop it in myself personally through the trainings?
Excellent.
Thank you, Master.
Very good. Let me address this thing and come back to what I was talking about, which I don't remember. Can't be that important. I'm very happy to hear that you decided that you wanted to get rid of this poison inside of your heart. It's whether it's your father's fault or not is irrelevant, because let me remind you again, it's you who choose to retain the poison in your heart, the hatred in your heart. Okay? Things happen for different reasons. Let me remind you, my teacher, Master YongHua, I'm in a similar situation as you. My teacher, a normal person would have felt entrapment, that he knew exactly that I wanted to learn chant from him. And that's why I was willing to quit everything, sacrifice my life to do it. Okay, and he knew that, but again, he left me very quickly. Left me to fend for myself for 10 years before I could understand what he was teaching me. Okay. And so that's the difference between me and you. I assure you, Dang, that my situation is a lot worse than you. My daddy also left me. Okay? When I was very weak. Because after he left me, I really had to struggle for survival and for a purpose, for direction, for everything. Okay, I'm still struggling a lot. Okay, and so you have. I'm very happy to hear that you stop blaming. You decided to stop blaming your dad. Let me tell you, I never blame my dad. Okay, and that's the difference. Difference is that if you have the blessings, you would stop doing things that are harmful to you. Okay, so it's a sign that your blessings have increased a lot and you decided, no, this is poisonous to me, let's drop it. All right? Congratulations to you. I'm very proud of you. Very good. Okay? Now, how do you drop it? Very simple. Number 8 knows how to drop it.
A Di Đà Phật, con thưa thầy, con muốn thưa thầy là trì chú Đại Bi mà con lớn tuổi rồi, bây giờ con đọc theo đọc tiếng Việt thôi, chứ đọc theo như tiếng này thì con đọc không được. Như vậy thì có được hay không, hay là phải là cố gắng để học cái tiếng Tàu này thì mới được. Còn vấn đề thứ hai nữa là con nghe ở bên ngoài có nhiều người nói rằng là trì chú Đại Bi thì ở nhà không được trì chú Đại Bi ở tại nhà. Thì con muốn xin thầy cho con biết gì là Phật.
Okay. Let me answer to her in Vietnamese and he will translate for you quickly as well. Okay. Câu hỏi thứ nhất, được. Cứ trì tiếng Việt được rồi, không sao. Không cần trì tiếng Tàu. Cái chú Đại Bi tiếng nào trì cũng được hết đó. Mà tới đây thì mình tụng tiếng Việt, tiếng Hoa, tiếng Phạn nó cũng được hết, không sao. Ok. Câu hỏi thứ hai, what's number two hả? Cordelia? At home. Ok. Trì ở nhà cũng được. Không sao hết á. Cái người mà nói là trì ở nhà không được, cái đó người đó tầm bậy, đừng có nghe nữa. Người ta không hiểu, thành ra cái lời chỉ đó sai lầm. Thành không cần nghe những cái lời chỉ dạy khác nữa của từ người đó tới. Okay. Go ahead, Hung, translate.
Emitofuo. So, Master, she asked that, hello, Master, I want to ask that I recite Great Compassion Mantra, but however, due to the old age, I can only recite in Vietnamese. So I cannot recite Pinyin or the Chinese that the temple has been reciting. Is that okay? Second question is that I've been heard from other people that I hear from other people that reciting Great Compassion Mantra is not okay to recite at home. So I want to ask if can Master tell me what to do about it? And so first question is, when you recite Great Compassion Mantra, you can recite whatever language you can. If you can recite in Vietnamese, in Chinese, or in Sanskrit, that's fine. That's okay, no problem. Second question is, when you recite the Great Compassion Mantra at home, that's okay, no problem. So the person who tell you not to recite at home, they doesn't know anything. That's baloney. So stop listening to these people.
Okay, now the answer to Dang's question. Now that I have time to think about how to answer the question. Thank you for asking the question. I thought about this story of Master Xu Yun. Master Xu Yun, when he started cultivating, Master Xu Yun is a patriarch, a predecessor to Master YongHua, and when he started cultivating, and he worked very hard and also had to struggle for himself as well, with little directions. And one of the things that I think he taught his students, his disciples, is that what do you do when you're holding a poisonous snake by its tail? And the answer is that you should throw it away right away. You don't think, okay? You toss it as far as you can, or you throw it away and you run away as far as you can, okay? And that's because you realize the point is you can't win against a poisonous snake. There's no point holding on to it. And so that's the answer to your question, Dang. You know that you don't want it, so all you have to do is, I don't want this hatred anymore. I don't want this anger anymore. That's all you have to do. Very simple. Okay? You need no other reason except the fact that you don't want it. It's not you. Okay? The real you doesn't want it. It's the petty you that wants to resent your late father. It's not the real you. It's that simple. Okay? Don't go for the false. Go for the true. Your true self has no hatred. The hatred you've been hanging on, that you've been harboring in your heart all these years, okay, is because you thought it was from you. Actually, it's not you. Okay? Just dump it. That's all. It's that simple. Say goodbye. Okay? All right. And then YouTube question.
Thank you, Master. There's a question from Roberta Nell, and the question is, some say recognizing craving or desire is helped by noting this is a moment of suffering. I say this is a moment of awareness, which is a joy, not a suffering. Do you have an opinion? Thank you.
Well, it's up to you. If you feel like recognizing what is joy.
It says craving or desire is a joy, not a suffering, in this person's opinion. Do you have an opinion?
It's not what the Buddhist teaching is. And to be blunt, it's what we call being upside down. Okay? If you look in a longer time interval, the craving and the enjoyment there is very short-lived. For example, let's take the very extreme example, but it typifies of what really happens to when you pursue your cravings. Like if, let's say, you crave for opium, for drugs. And yes, when you take drugs, you have some temporary enjoyment, but you have many long-term problems after. And that's what Buddhism is teaching. The Buddha is saying is not simply not denying that there's joy there in the in satisfying your desires and pursuing pleasures, but it's very short-lived. Whereas if you look at a longer-term horizon, you will see that overall that is a source of a lot of suffering for you. It's up to you whether you believe or not. It's your personal decision. But the purpose of the Buddhist teaching is to very humble. We are not claiming we know everything. We simply submit to you that for your consideration, it's okay. You want to have fun, no one can stop you. No Buddhist would stop you or would even condemn you or judge you, at least a real Buddhist, okay? But your pleasure, again, in the long run, is the source of a lot of suffering for you. That's what the Buddha said. That's what the meaning is about. Okay? Pursuing pleasure, pursuing those things. If you do it wrong, then you suffer a lot. In Buddhism too, though, that teaching is designed for people like you. But in Buddhism, after you become enlightened, then you do have a choice to pursue pleasure, and actually it's beneficial. All right? But that's a little bit higher level than you. Continue.
Thank you, Master. She has some additional comments here. She says, the joy is in the awareness, recognizing action is suffering, awareness is not.
Now, you really are speaking nonsense. Awareness does not bring you joy. That's nonsense. Scientifically, what is joy? Joy is some sort of hormones that secretes inside your body and you feel good. Okay? Joy is after awareness, but joy is not awareness. Scientifically speaking, you're aware of something doesn't mean that bring you joy. Okay? That equates to joy. So really, I'm going to stop here right now because I don't want to go any deeper because I happen to disagree with you. Okay? It's you lack basis in your statements. Okay? Your statements are inaccurate. Again, from my perspective, awareness is not joy. Okay? Go to the scientists, go to your psychologist and ask them if they agree or disagree. Okay? Not just me. Okay, thank you. And going back to my original question, 1, 2, or 3, we have various thinking. But in my mind, I feel that number 2 is most important. Training is the most important. Because Buddhism does not exist on paper, does not exist on videotapes. Buddhism exists in your minds, meaning that if whatever you can understand, you put into practice, that's Buddhist teachings. If Buddhists teaching Buddhology is only on paper, in books, it's dead Buddhology. It's useless Buddhology. The Buddhas, when he came through a lot of pain and suffering to come to our world to teach us, his purpose is to help us personify life. Buddhism as life. It's not a philosophy, it's not concepts, it's a way of life. So, meaning that the more wisdom you have, then your life truly reflects the Buddha's wisdom. Whereas the books, case in point, the Tripitaka, the Buddha's sutras, the Buddha's teachings, most of us don't get it. That's why he had to send his patriarchs, his disciples, enlightened disciples, to come and explain to us. You see? So the things, Buddhism does not exist on paper. The Buddhism exists in us, in each and every one of us. Okay? So that's why, to me, Buddhism, what's most important in Buddhism is to transmit the best of your knowledge to the next generation, and hopefully they do better than you. They penetrate Buddhism to a deeper level than you can. Yes, 5.
So, Master, what is number 3 education? What is Master YongHua's vision of education?
That confused me as well. We talked about, by the way, I think this week or last week, about the fact that I applaud his disciples, the DRBA, on a most excellent job translating. They have the infrastructure. They built it up over decades now. We can't compete with them. They are far better than us. Okay, better equipped, better trained, more experience in everything. Only weakness they have is that you can help. I didn't say that the last time I made a comment about this, is that what we should be doing is take advantage of it ourselves and introduce others who want to learn real Mahayana in English. They should consult them, okay? But what we could do to help them, you in the future, I really don't have a lot of time to do it or interest to do it, is to help correct the translations that fall short of Master YongHua's meaning. Because their translator, as I told you, they reach this level, okay, from 1G to 3/4 of the way. So the translation falls within that range. And you will have a chance to correct what they cannot see above them or the mistranslation in the lower range. And that's what you can do. It's a great work. It could be improved. That's all you have to do. Don't need to compete with them because you can't. In translation, we can't catch up at all. Okay, so use it, introduce it to people, but improve upon it. Okay, when you have a chance. Okay. As far as education goes, I thought, and I'm going to have to go soon, I thought that it's about the high schools or the universities. For a long time, until recently, I thought that's what education is about. But then I realized it's wrong. Because education is not about teaching children or young people or giving people a master's degree or bachelor's degree in Buddhology or a PhD degree in Buddhology, because I looked at the personnel there at their university. The quality is not quite there yet in terms of academic standards. Okay. And I looked at the high schools they have. I liked it. I taught at a boys' schools. And when I realized that I don't think they were able to produce any real geniuses. To me, I'm very, very results-oriented. If you can do it, then what show me where the meat is, okay? And so then I finally realized what education really means. Education is someone to explain the Dharma to you. That's what education is. So as long as we're there, I hope that you in the future will be able to dedicate more resources on producing more videos, Dharma glimpses, shorts, and so forth, and assemble the teachings by topic. Okay. Yes, most people, the overwhelming majority of people are not impressed with my style of teaching the Dharma. It's understandable because their teachers come from a different background, from a different generation, and that's why if we keep it up, Buddhism will die. It's declining right now. It's dying slowly. in this generation of old people who've been supporting the temples, when they go away, their children will disappear. Their children do not believe in Buddhism. So it's a failure from the Sunims, from the monks and nuns, in reaching them, in training them, in helping them. Buddhism dies, just the Buddha says, if no one practices, if no one believes it. Okay? So therefore, education to me is to find a way to reach the future generations. And we have a good start already. My peers are not producing any materials for consumption for the young generation. They're stuck to the old ones who support them with money. Okay? It's funny. I have my Korean disciple here from Korea to help us out. He's doing a good job in Korea, believe it or not. I noticed. Sinan, you didn't think I noticed? Why do you think you're here? Don't cry now. And she said in Korea, the Sunims are, this is her words, not me, okay, not mine. I say in Korea, the Korean monks are very intrigued by us. We have so many young people joining us, studying Son, studying Chan, and practicing Pure Land and mantras and so forth. And so they just wonder, what is it that draws these young people to us? We don't know either, to be honest with you. We don't know why. Okay? What we do know is that this Sunim here, that she's a friend with, she would visit him, and he look at her, and it's a big temple, a big organization. They're very wealthy. So every time she comes to see him, he would give her rice cakes. And he says, I know you guys are very poor, so I don't expect you to give me anything. I have to give you. The point being that young people, and this is why my seniors and my peers ignore young people, because young people are very poor. They can't contribute to the temple. Okay? So to do this, we have to be poor. Way Mountain.
Master, I just have a comment before you close. It's not a comment in regards to what you're talking about.
Go ahead.
I just want to mention that this coming weekend, we will have the relics exhibit at both DTT and WMT.
All right. Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to invite people too. Thank you, Vicky. Okay. Yes, let me reiterate. Next weekend, this weekend, the Labor Day weekend, we have when does it start? Friday or Saturday?
Saturday, Master.
Saturday, okay. We have a 3-day relics exhibit, and you know what? Our old warrior, Master XC, is coming back from Korea. He'll be here at DTT. I hope he'll bring more relics as well. He's a relics guy, okay. And he's pretty old, so maybe it could be the last chance for you to see him. Yes, in the back.
Just want to add that there will be no lectures Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. No lectures. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's start the lunch offering.